Welcome back to another episode of Procrastination Podcast. We talk about anime life, everything in between. Today is life. My name is Matt,
I'm Robert.
I'm Alonzo.
and we have a deep one today for y'all. So prepare to be feeling some things. But before we get into that, how y'all been? How y'all been doing this week?
Been good. It came out recently. Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 came out recently, and I've been playing it nonstop this weekend. And it got me into one thing, right? So I've been playing this game, and sometimes I'll play a part. You ever playing a game and you're like, okay, I'm gonna beat this with jank alone. Like I'm just gonna do something that shouldn't be allowed in the game for me to do, and that's gonna allow me to win. Well, I don't feel good about beating things that way, so I try not to do that often. But I'm like, there's sometimes you're playing a game, and I'm like, I'm doing it the way you told me how to play this game, and it is harder than I I can't do it. I can't do it without using jank, and it annoys me, especially because Spider-Man, he's like a fighter, so you just want to kind of just go up there and fucking brawl with these big dudes, and yeah. So I'd be doing that, and then it's just like, well, you need to use all these gadgets. You need to use your thing. And I was like, no, I don't want to use that. I want to beat him with my bare fucking hands.
Oh Lord.
Anyways, so I've been playing that, getting annoyed, and yeah, I'm 2/3 of the way through the main story. Apparently, it says 66% through the main story, so
When
should
that
be
game
done
come out?
Friday.
Friday. Jesus. All right.
This guy, have you bathed, sir? Have you bathed? That's I'm concerned.
I mean, we talked about this a little bit. That I'm like, yeah, that's like one of my favorite games of all time, the old
Fair
school
enough.
Spider-Man. So
Oh,
it's
those
like,
are
yeah,
fire.
and it
It's
gives you,
fire.
yeah. And also this time, it's you get to play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and you switch between kind of like GTA, where you can switch between characters. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyways,
I
what I
remember I
think.
played the first Spider-Man that came out on PlayStation 4 a couple of years ago. I
Mm,
played that game for like 5 minutes, played the first mission, and I died instantly. I was like, never again.
yeah.
Game was too hard at that point for me, so I'm like semi-retired from gaming.
Semi-retired from a hobby. Like what?
There are some parts where I'm just like, why is this hard? This is annoying me. This is like, there's no reason for you're ruining my immersion with the story by making it this fucking hard. Spider-Man would die 3 times.
Spider-Man got plot armor. You don't, man. Too
So,
bad.
right? Yeah. But yeah,
I mean,
feel you. How you doing, Alonzo? How was your weekend?
I just wanted to bring up I got my water heater replaced. Only
Oh,
cost $2,000, so I beat you by 1,000, Robert.
yeah, you did.
Still kind of a lot, but what can you do? So
I
I
know.
got hot water. I got a new 50-gallon heater, new piping, new everything. So I'm good to go. Set for life. Well, at least for the next 10 years. I only got a 6-year warranty though, so it's probably gonna
oh
break in
god.
6 years. So we'll
Start
see how
saving
that goes.
now.
Yep, start saving now. My God, all this money.
Yeah.
No,
I
Lord, this
understand the
house,
expenses.
Mm-hmm.
this house be the death of me. But I love it. I'm coming up on a year in this house, so I'm happy about that. I have a place to call my home. Not a lot of people have that, so I'm gonna be thankful for it, no matter the trials and tribulations. But this past weekend, I ain't do much of anything. What did I even do? I watched a lot of sports, and that's it. It was a good sports weekend, actually. Panthers were on a bye, so they didn't lose. So that's something.
That is something, because
That's all I can take out of this weekend. But,
yeah.
work is work, and we're still going chugging along with that. Yeah, that's my week's been pretty good.
Speaking of sports, really quick fight. Victor Wembanyama, they post this picture of him blocking that three. Have you seen that picture?
Yes.
That's not even fair, bro. It's like it's like you gotta wish you were born 10 years ago now. Dudes are just gonna start wishing they were born 10 years ago or 10 years later now. They're like, I gotta be in the league same time as this guy, man. What the freak, man?
There was like
7'5", Jigga.
Yeah. There was like this 2-minute clip against the Warriors in the preseason game where he just did everything. He blocked 2 shots, he made threes, he was making rebounds, doing everything. I sent that clip to Knox. He was like, this Jigga is unfair. Like, good lord.
This man is a created player, bro. There is no way.
That's exactly what he said. Yeah.
when you playing the game, you put all the stats to the max.
Max out. Like, that's what he is. Max out height, max out everything, max out. Make him as young as possible, so be on your team for 20 years. Like, and it makes me so upset. Charlotte was 1 pick away. Tank better, Charlotte. Tank better, man. You knew what was at stake. We could have had him in Charlotte, North Carolina. Not my hometown, but close enough. And we could have been enjoying that nice hype and mentality. You know,
Right.
maybe it's good because I kind of think about moving there and it would have rose up the price of everything. So maybe it's good for me. Now they're going to suck again. And then
Charlotte needs good sports heroes.
They do.
Cam Newton's gone. They missed out on C.J. Stroud, who's been the best rookie quarterback. Panthers. Now the Hornets got somebody who's got charges against them.
Charges, yeah.
Well, bad time to be a Charlotte fan.
Charges.
Luckily, I'm a Timberwolves fan. That's even worse.
Let's see. At least you got Ant Edwards, man. He's a pretty good dang player.
Not for long.
True, you know. but anyway, my week finally got out of the hospital, escaped the clutches of the hospital, so I'm happy with that. Back on the study grind. Had to go back home and get my car inspected because I forgot I was 7 months past due to get it inspected. I totally forgot. I promise I did it, and I guess I just didn't. I don't know. I guess because it's the first time I had a car consistently. Because every time my car is either destroyed or just like not here. So I'm like, I never think about it for a full year. It's the first time I had a full year of having a car in a long time. So I totally forgot. And till the popo put something in my car was like, yeah, we're gonna tow this ish. You don't get this thing inspected. I was like, oh, I should probably do that.
That luxury, like of notice.
I am also surprised because they have towed my car over much less, and I have been livid about it. But I did get that done, and it happened to be a good weekend to go back because my brother and my sister and my niece and nephew were all home. So everybody, my whole family pretty much came home, which is kind of rare for us at our adult age now. So it was good, and it was good. It was good, and we got to see my niece and nephew, and it was nice, man. It was nice seeing everybody. So it was a good time. Got back today and ran to the gym. I'm way too dedicated, and then came and got on the podcast for the people. You know.
Oh yeah, one other thing, I want to give a quick shout out to my cousin Norma. She graduated boot camp from the Navy in Chicago on Thursday, so congrats to her. So I know she's going to be doing bigger and better things, and I also want to give well wishes to my grandma. She was admitted to the heart hospital, so she's doing better now. So I just want to put her in my wishes, put it out there. Everybody pray for her, give her well wishes. So just want to put that out there real quick.
Yes. Okay. Well, congrats to her. I ain't doing no boot camp. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I'm not the one. When they asked me to this will be a story time, but I almost got convinced to pledging in undergrad. And that was the reason why I was like, like, I am not doing, paying to suffer for one. And then boot camp is still too much physical suffering for the modern day me. It's like, nah, I'm not going to volunteer for that anymore. Yeah, I'm still way too hard for that. So, yeah. But congrats to her. That's good stuff.
My brother had plenty of horror stories out of boot camp. Talked about, there's this one part where everyone gets in a room and they give you these gas masks and they're like, all
Oh
right,
yeah,
you,
yeah, I've heard about that.
we taught you guys how to put the gas mask on. Now we're gonna throw the tear gas in there. You got to get your gas mask on before before the gas gets you. And they're like, like what? And then they go in there, and no matter what, he says, no matter what, you can't 100% get no tear gas in your mask. So you put the mask on, you got, and it's in there, and now you're just breathing it in, and it hurts a lot. And he's like, and yeah, and everyone has to do it. This is part of boot camp. I was like, sounds like torture.
They got it.
Like, okay.
Hey, respect to them, because again,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Fuck that shit.
But without further ado, we're going to get into the topic today. And like I said, it's a deep one. And we talk about well wishes, which of course we do. Wish, I don't know what side of grandma she is. I'm going to say Grandma Jenkins. Wish her well.
Yeah, she's my mom's mom, Grandma
Gotcha,
Jenkins.
gotcha. Well, in honor of her wishing her well, we're going to ask some questions. Some questions to the man upstairs. We're going to talk about the questions that we would ask if we could ask God any questions. So we'll limit it based on our time, but we're gonna have some hard hitting stuff here. I think mine is probably less so maybe than others, but probably something pretty relatable. I'm sure from all of us. But yeah, I mean, I think in general, I think we've all had experiences in our lives where kind of like, we would love some answers from some sort of omnipotent being, whatever you believe in, and from some sort of higher power. And we usually don't get any sort of straightforward answer unless you're, I don't know, spiritual leader of some sort, or a master of the seance. Like, I don't know how you would get that, but we generally don't get a straightforward answer, so we kind of end up kind of making up your own based on the things that go on in your life and interpreting signs of stuff that go on in our lives, right? So this is kind of like if we ever had the opportunity to face to face, for whatever reason, hopefully in a situation where we can not be dead yet, to be like, ask these couple of questions and hopefully get some good answers. And yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about here. So, but yeah, I don't know. How is there? I know we've all, like I said, gone through some stuff, but I don't know what's kind of like the one that you've kind of burning in your chest that you feel like you want to get off your chest right now, Robert. It's got to be one, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I was trying not to make it to bring it too down, because I was like, I could, but I'm not going to. But the question when you asked it, it made me think about it a couple of ways. So the first way that I'm thinking about it, and I'll talk about my main question, but was like you said, what if it was because we died, and now we have questions to ask, right? And I'm like, okay, well, here's some like kind of like honorable mentions that I've like. One of the first things I would think is like, did I did I help someone? I don't know why, but that to me just seems like the main thing. Like it's like, but
Yeah.
anyways. Also, am I going to heaven? Where am I going?
Good first question.
It's like, where,
Yeah.
But in the end, I think that what I wanted to know is, did I fulfill my true purpose? And that was like, I mean, to me that's, and you'll see like later when I talk about like some of the other stuff, but like that's one thing that I feel right now that I'm like confused, because I feel like I'm like somewhere in between, like having this willingness to like try more, do more, be more, and just like be stagnant. So I I feel like if I were to, if I were to die right now, and I'm talking to God, I'd be like, well, did I do the thing you wanted me to do? Did I do the thing the way you know? 'Cause I mean, and I like that too, because it's kind of twofold. Because it could be that the answer is, oh well, there is no purpose. There is no,
Yeah.
that's not why I put you here for you to have one particular purpose. You're uh, a man of many moments, right? So
Mm.
you're I would hate for your whole life to be all right, and then it got to this point, you did the thing, and then all right, good.
Then,
More like yeah,
then it's
yeah.
done.
Right. But yeah, I would wonder if that is, some big, plan, right? And it's just
Mm.
like, yeah, I think you inspired these people, you've done these things, or you've made these people happy, or you've given this person like a good moment of their life. And I think that would be great if I could have confirmation that what
Yeah.
I've done
Yeah.
has been, you know, worth it, and that's my
Yeah.
did I fulfill my true purpose?
Yes.
Mhm.
That is, I mean, how many people got to ask this question
Right.
daily, to themselves in the mirror? Like, I mean, I know, I'm sure I know I know I have, and I'm sure at some points, probably Alonzo has, and probably everyone we know
Mhm.
has at some point. Cause I'm like, I don't know, you just want to make sure that you're, like you said, it's like, there comes times where you're like, is this the right move?
Mhm.
It's almost always like some sort of pivotal time in your life, whether it's like, choosing college, choosing jobs, choosing places to live, there's all sorts of like decisions where you're like, this is a crossroads decision.
Mhm.
Like, I could go any number of ways, and I don't know if this is the right way, you know. And it definitely would be nice to get that confirmation that, okay, you took, you could have gone a number of different ways, and got to the same place or got to the same, result. But you didn't take the wrong ones. There's also wrong ones you could have took, and you didn't take those. That would be good to have confirmation. Like, you ain't f up too bad. Like, you have to a little bit, but not too bad. Like, okay, good, I'll take that. So yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that, and I mean, yeah, I mean, I read a book about this, and it's really called On Purpose, and it was probably the only good thing that I took away from when I spent a summer in Michigan.
Mhm.
And it is super deep. I have it still today, and I still read it over today when I question things. And it's not even, so it's a book, but he animated it as a comic book, but it's obviously very thick for a comic book, and it's very like detailed in its writing. But that's how he chose to convey the message. But basically, yeah, I mean, he was looking for purpose after a traumatic event in his life, and questioning all these sorts of things as well. And yeah, and I think basically at the end of it, it's like, for him, he's like, you kind of create your purpose, and you kind of define your purpose yourself through the things that you're interested in, through the things that you're passionate about, and serving the people that you feel compelled to serve. So like, when you have those urges to do things, like acting on those urges, like those good things, the good the urge to do good things, not all the urges, the urge to do good things. So if you feel like, oh man, I should really help this guy out, just help him out. Or you feel like, oh, I should really, do this. I feel like this job is good for me, but maybe I'm hesitating because I'm in a comfy spot at this other job or whatever. But I feel like this job could be it. And sometimes you just got to take that leap, sort of thing. So I think that's kind of what he talks about. Is just like, taking those calculated risks, and like, sometimes stuff doesn't work out, and sometimes that's a part of it too. It's for it to not work out exactly the way you want it to. So I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, I've been thinking about some of that stuff myself with the stuff going on in my life. So I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, definitely a reasonable question. I would also love the answer
Mhm.
to.
It also
So,
feels similar about the podcast, right? It's like yeah, I mean, we definitely some hesitancy there at first, and still now, even like still some hesitancy where we like, do we want to make
Right.
ourselves this vulnerable? But I think
Yeah.
good conversation. We're we're three, like, honestly, like, I would say you guys are really like good guys, like not mean people, not and I was saying, like, conversation our
Yeah.
conversations aren't going to be, oh, here's this bad guy thing to do.
Right.
Because I
True.
mean, you guys don't have that in you. So I'm just like sharing that with
True.
people. It should not be a problem. But for some reason, yeah, like you said,
Right.
purpose. Like
Yeah.
anyways.
Robert, I wanted to ask you, like you're in front of God. Any answer has good or bad news. What would be bad news to you? What kind of answer would have to be bad news to you?
I mean, like I mean anything other than yes is definitely like bad news, right? I'm like, you know what I think is worse?
Yeah.
Saying that like you were on the right path and you just missed it.
Yeah.
It's like just the thoughts you had in this particular moment changed your trajectory, and now that fucked you up.
Now you're
Yeah,
effed.
yeah. Now
You're
you're out,
done.
yeah.
You know,
Like
you
yeah,
blew it,
or
guy.
there's like it's like I wrote this this thing for you, and you were going to reach these amount of people and inspire these amount of people, make these amount of people happy, or I mean, uh, like even like I mean, take Matt for instance, like you're in the medical field, so like being like you've healed these amount of people, they're saying like you did this way and you saved these many lives. Like what if you get there and he's like, well, you could have saved these many lives and you did. This is the path I chose for you, and you didn't do it.
You shouldn't
I
have
mean,
called out sick that one day.
yeah. And I was like,
Like,
I
oh
mean
no.
that would really hurt more than
Right.
just a blanket like nah. Better luck next time, dude. It's like yeah.
Right. Mm, that's true.
Yeah, that's certainly understandable. Great question. Um, my question, like, so it's a long one. I wrote out an entire thesis for this because
Mm,
my relationship with religion and God is not all good there. So
mm,
I'll say first off, I consider myself agnostic. My stance is that we really don't have concrete proof that God exists, but we haven't proved that God doesn't exist either. So I'm of the mindset that since we don't know, theoretically we can't know. We shouldn't know
mm,
whether there's a God or not. God would be on a higher plane of understanding that we wouldn't be aware of, and I thought we would ever have the means to make that concrete claim of proof.
mm,
And I liken it to an old story I heard in church growing up. I think it was about mayflies. So apparently, there's these mayflies that spend its juvenile life underwater, but they go under metamorphosis like butterflies, and when they emerge from that process as adults, they go to solely live on the air and land. And the story goes that the mayflies only know as life underwater, and they don't really have any understanding of another plane of the world they can live in. But one day, a mayfly becomes an adult and realizes that there's so much more to the world. But they try to go back and go underwater and tell their mayfly friends about life in the air and on land, only to find out that they can't go back underwater. So the mayfly is sad, but they shape up and they realize that they'll only be apart a short time because soon enough the friends will all make it to the surface and experience the new world with them. So now the story is obviously geared toward children, but it kind of goes into my first question, which is there an afterlife? And why it kind of goes with my story is that the underwater is similar to life on Earth. Some imagine a place to go to after death, but at the end of the day, all we can control is our present lives on Earth. And similar to when the adult mayflies go on land, that is the afterlife, a place you can't return to your past life, but you can wait for all your friends to make it there with you. Um, so, for me in the past, I've struggled with the concept of death. When my great grandma died back in '03, it shook me. I was already a jaded child because this was after 9/11. The war was going on in the Middle East.
mm.
And on a smaller scale, I was a bullied child, so I was just done with almost everything. I'll spoiler alert. Well, not spoiler alert, but I used to be suicidal as a kid. I still am suicidal, but not as much as I was as a kid. But I just didn't really jive with the world, I guess. So I was already on shaky ground with my religious beliefs, and when she passed, I didn't know what to do because I loved her so much and I wanted more time with her. and I didn't know if there was an afterlife or not. And after a while, I stopped caring about religion, not only because it made moving on easier, but also my mother made it started making a big deal of going to church after that, and she basically has made it her whole life now. But she wouldn't accept me not being religious and kind of forced it down my throat and wouldn't let me be me. Like she wouldn't let me make my own decisions about religion. She kind of just tried to like force and kidnap me to go to church, force me to do things I didn't really believe in. So it definitely got to a point where I thought she didn't really love me because I wasn't religious. Because for some reason I would get in trouble with her for mundane things, even though the majority of the time I'm getting straight A's. I'm a Bono Boy Scout. I'm thinking about my future. I'm not hanging out with the wrong crowd. But to me, in her eyes at the time, I was always doing wrong for some reason, and I always think back to religion being the case. Um, but I'll stop ranting. So my question is, I need to know if there's an afterlife to further plan out my life and really get an understanding if life was worth it all, if it's worth it or not to live. I guess because that's one question I've always had. Like, is it worth it to keep going? Like, what is the purpose? And I know we can control the stuff we want to here on Earth. We control our present lives. We can do what we want. We can live how we want. But if there's an afterlife, I would want to know if there's purpose to my life to keep going, to make sure I be the best version of me that I can, so I can get to the best version of the afterlife. Like if there's a heaven or if there's a hell, I need to know that so I can plan my life accordingly. But that's all I gotta say.
I mean, that was candid.
Mm.
Like, god dang, that was like, man, that's thank you for that. Seriously. That was like nice insight. And I feel like well, I know I can relate to parts of that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can. Hopefully they'll see it, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple of things to dissect there. And I think the first thing is like, yeah, obviously I'm probably the most religious of the people in the group. Ting. But but I think, for me, I've kind of talked a lot about this with Robert at least, and I think a little bit with both of y'all when we're together. Just like I wish you guys didn't have that happen as much because I feel like I had that happen to an extent, but then I went to churches where people were more open to like answering your questions and letting you be inquisitive and like letting you find your own path. So yeah, I was still kind of made to go more often than I wanted to, but I was able to make my own path and explore my own path and ask my own questions to figure out what religion meant for me. And y'all weren't afforded that, which frustrates me. Which the for me is the most frustrating thing about religion in general is that a lot of people in the generation before us don't allow us those questions, that journey to get there. And it's especially frustrating knowing that some of them, a lot. Well, I'll say a good amount of them didn't start out as like holier than thou. They started out super rocky, and then kind of found their way to it with their own journey, which is, I guess to an extent for them maybe it's like, well, they want to cut out that that kind of part of it, that struggle part of it that they maybe had to go through for you. But it's like the struggle part of it for them is what made them want to get to this religious point and what allowed them to make that transition, allowed them to have that stronger faith and belief. And so without that struggle, you're not going to have the opportunity to make that stronger foundation. Like if you're just thrown into it, like you can't force anyone to truly love and truly do anything. You can make them do the things, but they're just going to be doing the motions, going through the motions. Like you can have players that have all the tools in sports, but guys that don't want to be there or don't really care don't care. It doesn't matter, whether they are or not, whether they have all the tools or not. And so that's always been my biggest frustration with religion and with a lot of the church in general. And what I've always had, even though I've been religious, I haven't always gone to church as much. I go more now because the church I go to, I feel like is more, like I said, like that. open to questions, open to your own journey, open to more people at their own pace, finding their way into religion, um, which I obviously for me is Christianity, but so I feel like that is what I wish that was for everyone. And that does not to say that I think that's going to make everyone religious, but I think it at least gives everyone the space to explore it safely and without feeling judged, which is how you should, which is literally the tenet. It is the tenet of Christianity, is to not judge, and to come as you are, and to love everyone. That is literally some of the key tenets of the religion, and it's frustrating that that's not always expressed uh, with a lot of people, especially older people in the religion. So I hate that part of it. And we talked about this even more with the recent show we watched, but I'm not gonna give them free publicity. but but yeah, I hate that part of it, but I do understand that part of it. And yeah, I definitely think there's some similarities in a lot of people with that, and with the feeling of you're doing a lot of other things right, and still because it's one particular thing. And this is with probably a lot of people on a lot of levels, whether it's religion, whether it's like you know people doing things that are maybe they're artistic people, and they're doing arts instead of sciences, and their parents want them to go into sciences, and they're doing everything right, and they're even pretty good at the art stuff, even pretty successful. But because they're not in a certain thing that the parents want, then it's an issue. So I think that your question and your response to that question has a lot of layers to it that I want to keep digging into. But yes, really, really, really good response, and I would love to dissect it more, but I don't want to keep talking. But yeah, super good question. I definitely agree. It basically runs into my own question, so I kind of will speak a little bit more on that after. But yeah, anything else I don't know you want to say, Robert Fry, so I can shut up?
Yeah, I wanted to say two things. One, you remember when I talked about Spider-Man earlier? The reason why I didn't want to play I don't want to play the game that way is because I felt like it was cheating. And in the same way I feel about asking that particular question is I feel like now that I know I'm cheating, right? Like I'm winning the game with the jank that I should be winning the game with. And it's like
Use what you got.
I'm very similar to Alonso, where I'm like, yeah, I'm hopeful. I really hope that this all knowing, all powerful thing is wants goodness in my life, wants goodness in the people around me, wants happiness, joy in the world, right? That's what I hope for. And then you know that's why I try not to angle it in terms of the religion thing anymore, because I think it a lot of times some people try to push that the negative parts of it, because they're like, hey, we're a human being, we have both positive and negative parts of our lives, and so does the world. And that is, and although that is true, that is not why I'm here. It's like that's not why I come to
Facts.
church. All right.
Right. That's true.
But but getting back to like there's some dynamics that I think are set up with the religion, and also the normal family roles, even in the Black community, just in general, that I think probably has a part
sure.
on what your mom did to you and what our parents did to us. I mean, I'm like, I mean, Matt, the African part probably even more so, right? has some
Different.
complete dynamic, right? That's
It's
like,
different.
you listen to me, period,
Right.
regardless
It's
of
different.
whether it's something small or something large, right? And yeah, it's similar to you, Alonso. I went through my life like kind of feeding off of that, like, oh, just do what I tell you to do, and then it's like and that's it. That's it. It's like, learn engineering, get into engineering, get into do this thing, think about your future, and get good grades and all this stuff. And you're like, okay, well, did I do that for me, or did I do that because somebody said? And yeah, it really changes your life and your mentality and stuff. But I won't say it's all bad, right? I mean, like like, especially now that you're living in your nice house, also with your new water heater, right? I won't say it's all bad, right? but there's definitely some dynamics that I think, which weren't a normal thing. And yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely something that I've seen in our generation, that's what we're trying to change, right? We're trying to bring up our children with this new, mindset, new dynamic that we're like, our children are also people. you know,
Yeah.
they're not just tools, right? So yeah, I get you, Alonso, and yeah, I I hope yeah, that's a good question. Very good question.
Stay with us. Stay with
Yeah.
us. As long
I know
stay
Moon
with us for
Cafe.
long.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing all right. We got more conventions to go to at the very least. So stay around for the conventions
Yeah, yeah.
in the maid cafe.
Oh, too many experiences you haven't experienced. So
We got to go to a real Japanese host club. We need a real
you know,
host club, real
yeah.
maid cafe. Anyway, that'll be
Hmm.
another story for another day. God. We're gonna tell that story. We're gonna tell it. We'll tell it. Well, we should tell it probably not today, but eventually.
Mm.
Eventually, we got some stories. But anyway, we'll see what NecoCon brings us. Um, yeah, I mean, that basically goes into similar question for me, and my question kind of goes in a little more detail. Is 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 if there is a heaven, which I believe there's something that's positive as an afterlife after this whole living thing is done. Um, how how can I ensure I get there? How can I make sure I'm in the good one?
All of y'all are cheaters, man. All of y'all.
Hey, look, if I somehow magically get a meeting with God, I'm already above everyone else. Sorry, like I'm already won the lotto. Like, come on, man. I'm shooting from the stars if I see him. Like,
Mhm.
God, I gotta secure eternity, dude. Like eternity is a long time
It
to
is.
not secure that ish. Like, and I don't
Mhm.
even know, maybe it's like a short term thing. And I think about life all the time because I again had my struggles with depression and SI, all that stuff too. So I thought about this a whole lot. But and I'm like, it'd be interesting too because I'm like, maybe it's like a thing where you're there for a little while and maybe you get reincarnated. You know,
Mm.
just get your memory wiped, reincarnated, run it back. Because I don't know if you guys have ever had weird situations where it's like you get this weird deja vu sometimes. Like, why do I have deja vu right now? And I'm like, I shouldn't have deja vu because I've never done this before. I don't know. It's like, I feel like we could. And you ever have like people in your family, like nieces or nephews or somebody, like, this person acts a lot like, you know, my grandpa or my great grandpa or my grandma or something like that. I don't know.
Mhm.
That's maybe just my
Mhm.
family, but I feel like it happens often enough where I'm like, feels like we're just recycling souls. Like feels like we're just doing some sort of, you know, soul society ish, and we're just
Mhm.
bleaching these people and running them back. I don't know, but I think it'd be a good question to kind of all encompassing question to guide my life. Kind of tell me if I'm on the right path already or if I'm not. So kind of a combination of both of your questions, and yeah, and I think it's also a confirmation sort of thing that you're doing that, or that you need to change some things, which would be good to know sooner than later. But I'm assuming that I'm doing this when I'm not dead, because if I'm already dead, then that is a moot point, and I am screwed or not screwed already. So hopefully in the not screwed category. I hope. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully I'm not dead.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I think, yeah, I mean that, like you said, it's very similar to what we're trying to ask, right? We're really just like, hey, man, can I get another set of rules that are just for me? Can
Yeah,
I get a Ten
basically.
Commandments for me, just for me? Tell me what not to do.
Just put it on your desk. Simple. It's like,
So, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
would
No, no, no. Don't look at it. Don't look at that. That's for me only. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that would be. That's kind of the whole kind of the question with religion, right? is
Yeah.
we're trying to do that just in a group. Like, how do we? What is the things we're supposed to do, right? Yeah. So I I think that's it's good.
Yeah.
It would be
Okay.
messed up if a guy was like a numbers theories guy. Like in your entire life, you have to do 100,000 Hail Marys. You have to save 500 times to the hospital. You have to
Oh
uh,
God.
go to communion 350,000 times. Like, what? How are you supposed to do that?
Like,
That's the
yeah.
only that's the only way you can get to heaven. I'm sorry.
It's like,
So,
time to start grinding. It's time to start grinding, dude. I'm about to
Right
go to a
now,
church
there
in
are
Brazil.
no. Actually, it's just me. There's nobody else in there. It's just me. I'm waiting.
Y'all not good at this life thing. Y'all not too good at this. I say I gave you free will. You needed more rules. Clearly, I need to do more rules next time. Just next time you get more rules. Just double down.
It's just me and Jesus chilling, waiting for somebody.
Father son. Father Sunday's great, but every other day it's kind of
Y'all
trash.
taking forever.
Y'all are not good. Oh, trash. We kind of do suck, man. Humans kind of suck, man. We kind of trash, man. Honestly. Oh,
That's
gosh.
funny.
that's a good
I
answer.
my question
Yeah.
is very similar to yours, and but wait, like strictly focused on me. So it's like it's so this is the part that I'm like, okay, if it was just I'm asking God, and I'm not dead, here's some questions I would ask for. So these are really like hints for my future is what I'm looking for. I'm like, okay, one, where is my soulmate? Where's it? Where
Right?
they at? All right, are they you know United States, Virginia? Do I have to move? Do I have to move to a different? Anyways, uh will I die happy? I thought that was a
Mm,
another good one that it's like, hey, okay, am
that
I
is deep.
right? It's like, oh,
There's
okay.
layers of that.
It's like I should be working towards, living life happy, right? So
Question is a crescent roll.
anyway, and then
It's
the
deep.
the one that I kind of like landed on was similar to what you said was what part of myself should I be focus focusing on improving is what I so I'm like I again I'm trying to I'm trying not to cheat
Not to
as
cheat.
much, right? But I'm trying to
Yeah.
get like good hint on like, okay, Robert, here's the part of your life that like you're missing out on, and if you just do this, you'll get back into the line that I made, for you or whatever. And I think, but it also in general, like this will bring you happiness, this will bring you joy, this will bring you, a feeling of, some fulfillment,
Mm.
too. Um, maybe I don't know, but it's just like what should I be focusing on? Because yeah, I mean you can talk to any one of your friends and they'll tell you, a number, a plethora of things that you should be working on.
You suck at this.
Yeah.
You suck. Get it together.
Like I can ask one of my friends, and he'll probably be like, "Well, you need to start, grinding Street Fighter 6, man, because that's going to be the next game." I'm like, "What? No, what?
Street Fighter 6.
Me personally, yeah." So I think that may be a
That's
good
funny.
one that I can convincingly be like, "Okay, I know that he's telling the truth."
Yeah, right.
So
Confirmation.
yeah.
I was actually gonna say that. I was gonna say you could ask a good friend or you get a really good therapist and you get that answer. I'm like, that is true. It is gonna always be a biased answer. That is the only unbiased answer that is 100% gonna be true. So that is a good point. That's a good use of the questions. It's like because it's certainty, which is good. Certainty is good, which is I guess is what we're asking in all these questions anyway. Is we need certainty. So we
Yeah.
could make our own answers for any of this stuff, but it would all be an assumption,
Mhm.
So certainty is good, and I agree. That would be that's a good one. That's a good one. But I do think that that's kind of part of the free will thing. It's
Mhm.
like you're free to improve the parts of you that you want to improve, and those probably can maybe not be optimal, but get you there at some point too. You know,
Right.
so. But it is a good question.
I think also like as far as stats go, it's like no one's at 100%, right? You know
Right?
what I
Yeah.
mean? Like so it's just like, yeah, I mean you could work on anything. There's not one facet of your life that you probably couldn't be improving on. You're like, oh no, I'm completely perfectly, existing. Here's my perfect existence. It's like what? Like yeah, but still, I like yeah. A good guide. Come on, just show me the way a little bit.
Wembanyama's height stat is I'm sure
Hey.
very close to 100%. I'm just saying. That man's stats
Big.
are
There you
his
go.
stats are all 90 plus, man. I'll tell you that right now. Stat it up, man. Stat it up. Golly, I hate that guy's existence. And his sister is fine too. What the freak?
Oh,
That is
Lord.
not fair. I'm just saying. We're not gonna get into this. But man, yeah, all of them is tall. It's great. All of them are taller than their parents, FYI. Just saying, which is crazy. Anyway, I digress. I don't know what kind of growth hormones they gave them kids, but it worked. So good for them. Good for the Wembanyama family.
Good for them, yeah. They're gonna be making a lot of money.
They are chilling, but they ain't never
What if
gonna.
God would like invest in Yahoo?
They make it
what
a
you should
comeback.
be
Gonna come back.
doing. I'm telling you, the way to fix your life: invest in Yahoo. Like, you're not God.
Okay, I'm just on shrooms. That's exactly what this is. That's all. Okay, I'm on a
I see
psychedelic
what
for
you're
sure.
doing here. You're
Right.
the devil. You are
The
Satan.
devil, no.
This is Satan tricking me. You want me to lose all my money.
But what if that was the key? And it's like just because you clicked that, some weird circle of events all of a sudden just falls into place. It's just dominoes of like just because you clicked this button at the exact time, you got this particular email. And because you got this particular email, you got this particular thing, it has a particular interaction that leads you to this particular place, this particular time. It's like, oh my gosh, you are God. It's like, oh my gosh.
In Bruce Almighty, didn't God use Yahoo? Didn't what's his name?
Oh yeah.
I forget.
Oh shoot, was Morgan Freeman God in that one?
Morgan
Yeah,
Freeman's
Jim
God,
Carrey.
Jim
Morgan
Carrey.
Freeman was God.
Yeah,
He took a
he's
vacation.
always God, isn't he?
Plays a good God.
He
Bro, what if you got to ask God a question? He was like, "Nah, I'm going on vacation. Sorry, bro."
You caught me as I'm on my way out, man. I'm sorry. I was going to seventh heaven right now, man. The first three don't hit like they used to. I'm going to going to seven.
Have you been to heaven? I mean, why would I sit here and talk to you? I'm in heaven.
You guys kind of don't do this right. You guys don't even listen, though. You don't even listen. Yeah. Why am I even talking to you? You're gonna do something different anyway. It's like, oh my gosh, Vaj, that's funny.
I have another question for God. Like my first question, this is assuming that I'm still alive, but also assumes that other people would know that I'm asking these questions to God, so they know that God is real. But my other question is not so nuanced as my first one, but I think it's important to know because it would be a statistical anomaly if it weren't true. But I would kind of geek out at the fact if there were other intelligent life in our universe. So that would be another question: is there other intelligent life in our known universe? If I had a third question, I would ask an exact location in the universe. But just having an answer to knowing if there's other life other than humanity on Earth would be kind of big news to everybody.
Facts.
And that's, and I'm assuming people would know that God exists at this point, but also knowing that there's other intelligent life out there somewhere, it would either do one of two things, I think. It would unite humanity under the looming threat of another life form coming to kill us all, or it would delve the world into more chaos because of the same looming threat. So it's kind of damn if you do, damn if you don't. Because if there's other intelligent life out there, obviously we know as humans that we're conquerors. We would go someplace, take other people's land, kill them, and make ourselves to be the victim. So white people. But
Oh
you know,
gosh, hitting a lot of topics today.
but other than that, it would be comforting to know that we are not alone in this big universe.
Hmm.
You know, um, Earth. We're kind of alone out here. Nope, we haven't found any other intelligent life. Odds are we may never will with our current technology. So just asking God to see if there's more life out there, it kind of comforts me.
Hmm.
But on the flip side, if He says no, there isn't other intelligent life, then we are truly alone, and it will just make my anxiety go sky high because we are at the brink of the end of humanity. Like,
Yeah,
um,
you're not
I
doing
read an
good.
article. I saw a headline that China may have up to 1,000 nuclear warheads that could be ready by 2030. And I'm just like, why the actual fuck would you need 1,000 nuclear warheads?
What?
Like,
Like,
sell some medicine, bitches. God damn.
like legit. Get you
Like,
some
what the fuck are you doing?
ginseng is good, man. You put some ginseng and some ish, and ship it off, man. What are you doing to us? That's just. I mean, unless you want to just have the ability to end the world at any moment, because there's no reason to have. Because imagine someone accidentally does that ish, accidentally. It's just like it's over. That's crazy. And we're not gonna have we can't react. We can't react. Like anyway. I digress. If that happens, I'm just binge anime. All the ones I haven't finished yet, and hope I get to finish them before I go. I have it.
They're also gonna keep getting bigger, keep getting more, right? It's like,
Right.
okay. It's like, all right, yeah, they have 1,000, but they only need one to actually destroy the planet. you know?
Right.
It's like that's how it's gonna be eventually. Anyways,
Right.
I think that's interesting. Again, another cheat question. They're like, all right, well,
How is that
all right.
cheating?
That's not a cheap question. I think that's a fair
I'm just
question.
saying, like, all right, now you know. That's one of the big scientific questions that are just like really would put you know, well, I guess it wouldn't in this case, right? Put any nail in the coffin because, well, if everyone knows you asked this question to a god saying, "Is there other intelligent life forms?" then they don't know what to think. They're just like, "All right, well, I mean, we were trying to look for aliens, but now it's just like, fuck. Now there's a god." Like,
Not other things to reconsider right now. It's like, wait.
but yeah, I think that's interesting. I think that, like, yeah, what if God's like humans are like naturally curious, and I do a lot of things just to satisfy their curiosity. It's like I put these dinosaur bones down. I send these little flares of alien life forms on Earth. I put these, you know, like let your telescopes point to light that doesn't exist. It's like I did it. Y'all are bored. I know y'all are bored, and I'm just satisfying your curiosity.
Trying to help you all out, man.
Yeah, don't keep asking questions. Look, no. All right, it's all fake. Sorry.
How about y'all be the intelligent life form? Be smarter. Stop doing dumb stuff. Stop making TikToks.
Look, I will tell you, there's no intelligent life forms on Earth. I'll tell you that. Except for dogs. Dogs are pretty cool.
Oh gosh, shout out to the dogs. Oh my gosh, man. That's true. That's fun. I think that's a good one though. I think I don't know, I feel like I've always been of the mind that probably something, vast enough space, probably something else, you know. At least at some point there will be if there isn't already. But like I'm also of the mind that like does that mean they're that much further ahead of us technology wise? Also, like maybe not. Maybe they're around the same, you know, and then they were just like, okay, we know they're there, but they're light years away, you know, like, okay, well, we're just, you know, good luck communicating. It'll take eons, like, to send a message, you know. And but yeah, I mean, I think that would be cool for sure to know. And ideally, they're maybe not hostile would be good, you know. Maybe they're like, Alonzo's like, no way. Alonzo's like, if they're not hostile, we're gonna be hostile, and that is for sure my thing. It's like we gonna have a Trump level instigator, and to be like, yeah, let's go instigate these guys real quick, and be like, why leave them alone? So yeah, that for sure would be scary because, but I mean, again, super awesome and amazing to know, but also scary because of the people in charge often making bad decisions and then having to have the job of communicating with them if that ever was the option, especially if they're more advanced than us or even around the same level of advancement, is like, oh gosh, inevitably going to be conflict. And you said, yeah, it could go either way of like unite us or turn us to chaos, but it's almost always chaos with humans, isn't it? Like, when does we ever get united for more than like a minute? Like, we're united for all of like 30 minutes a year. We're united. Like the rest of the time, it is some stupid argument about who knows what, Jada Pinkett Smith or something. I think maybe we're united on Jada Pinkett Smith. Actually, we're united. We're united that we're over that. So we are united on that.
I love that to be the only uniting thing. That's so funny.
We're over that. Tired of that for sure. Anyway, oh my gosh, but yeah. I think that is a good question for sure. I would love to know the answer to myself too. And I kind of tweaked just moving on casually to my question to the interest of time, but kind of my question is trying not to cheat it because initially I wanted to go my question to be super cheat and be like, what is my quickest and most efficient way to success? That's what I wanted to ask, but I'm not going to even take the cheat way out. So I wanted to ask something different because I was like, that is a super cheat question. I wanted to know, where is the place that I would feel the happiest for the longest period of time? Because like Alonzo, I've had my struggles with all these sorts of, you know, mental health stuff, with like depression, all that sort of stuff as well, and like often feeling like even when I'm at home, sometimes not feeling at home, you know. And it would just I've always wanted to be like, okay, I can go to a place, and like that song always says, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, you know, always glad you came, that sort of thing. And I'm like, yes, that feeling is what I want to have every time I go home to a place, you know. And I'm like, I would love to know what place that is. Hopefully they speak some English. Or someone is really good at teaching whatever language they speak, you know. But I've always wanted to know that because I'm like, you know, that would be good to have. And then also to just feel like maybe somewhere where you can bring others to be happier, you know, kind of like an oasis sort of place on earth, which would be good, I think, for people that are struggling to fit in, struggling to feel accepted, struggling to feel happy, you know, struggling with all these sorts of things, to just have a place where they can just get a reprieve from the world. I'm like, which for some people we talk about these is these conventions, you know, which is great, and which is why I love them as much as I have, you know, and I've enjoyed going to them as much as I have so far. But that'd be my question for sure. Just what is the place I would be the happiest for the longest, for sure.
Yeah. And I was thinking about something similar, where I was thinking about like, have I experienced my happiest day? You know, kind of thing. It's like, but I like that. That, like, yeah, I mean, especially if it's not a place that you need to remain there, but it's just like you know, just like, oh yeah, like, by the way, you didn't even know this about yourself, but you sit down in a park and you feel the happiest you've ever felt. You know, it's like, wow, it's like, oh well, let me let me go there. You know,
yeah, right.
you know, like every now and then, you know, just recharge or whatever. But yeah, so I think that'd be cool. And yeah, like you said, if it is something that special, you can then show it to other people, and yeah, that'd be super cool. But, yeah,
Right.
good stuff.
Yeah, that's a real good question. Hopefully, it's not some war torn place, but a place that we find me happy. Yeah,
Right.
Palestine. I don't know.
God damn.
Gaza Strip.
Again,
It's like,
humans suck.
in the Vatican. Yeah.
The Vatican. God dang it. Now I gotta turn into an Assassin's Creed character to sneak into the Vatican. Great. Like, that's what I need in my life. Go into training so I can learn how to use the hidden blades and it's just so I can sneak into the Vatican and be happy. Nice. Oh, nice. Oh gosh, man. This has been it's been good. This worked out, I think, even better than I thought it would be. I knew it was a good topic, but I think this topic has given us a little something extra today.
A little extra, you say? All right, it's time for extra time. Start off with a programming note. The NBA returns with the season tomorrow, October 24th. I believe the Suns play the Warriors and the Lakers play the Nuggets. So it's going to be some great games on TNT. In WNBA news, the Las Vegas Aces are your 2023 Finals champions over the New York Liberty. They go back to back as they won last year's championship as well. They were being hunted all season. In fact, New York especially was billed as a super team set to contend to take down the champs. But in the end, they couldn't do it. So congrats to Las Vegas. In soccer news, we got some sad news for Brazilian soccer star Neymar. He unfortunately tore his ACL and meniscus in his left knee while playing in a World Cup qualifying game for Brazil. If you missed it earlier, Neymar made waves this year for taking his talents to a Saudi Arabian club called Al Hilal, where, according to Forbes, he signed a contract worth a reported $300 million for 2 years. Do the math. That's $150 million a year. That's a lot of money. He's 31 years old, and he's getting up there in terms of time played. But I wouldn't put it past a player of his caliber coming back and being a top player again. So, well wishes to him. Rest up. Praise up for him. Hopefully he comes back and dominates. In other soccer news, there was a viral headline floating around in the last week or so surrounding soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo. The headline stated that Ronaldo was going to be punished with 99 lashes in Iran for hugging an Iranian woman. Turned out to be a false story, however, as the Iranian embassy in Spain has stated that there is no punishment pending for Ronaldo. But it's easy to see why the story would go viral in the first place. Iran has a harsh regime, and let's be real, they don't have a good human rights track record, especially toward women. The bogus claim was that because Ronaldo hugged a woman that wasn't his girlfriend, Iran would take action to make an example out of him. Luckily for everyone involved, that isn't the case. Like Neymar, Ronaldo signed with the Saudi Arabian club, and he's been playing games in the Middle East. If one last note on Ronaldo, his son Ronaldo Jr. was signed to his team's under 15 club and will start training with the team. So, like father, like son, they're going to be moving up in the world. Hopefully, he can be a soccer superstar too, and we'll just have the reign of Ronaldo forever, forever, ever, 100 years. Finally, in Olympics news, it was announced earlier that flag football, yes, flag mother-loving football, will be part of the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles after being approved by the International Olympic Committee. No, don't you do that, Matt. Don't you do that.
Trying to make some money.
Yeah. NFL is even seeking to have some of the superstars of the league participate in the effort to not only grow the game internationally, but also secure gold for the United States. So can you just imagine Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce all going to go against China or Japan or something like that?
Gosh,
they getting decimated.
Playing against freaking people that are just regular day job workers.
Right.
Like, they just work out a few days a week.
I imagine this JoJo level scene. It's like, pick them up completely, then take their flag off,
Now, I won't get into the official rules of the game. You can look it up for yourself. But it's a 5-on-5 game. And I will say that the rules are surprisingly strict. And to me, it looks like it will create tons of fast-paced offensive possessions. So be prepared for touchdowns to be raining. But I gotta know what you all think about this because we're in here talking about flag football. I mean, listen, we're talking about flag football, not the NFL. Not the NFL that you go out there and you die for it and play every game like it's your last. Not the NFL. We're talking about flag football. I mean, how silly is that? We're talking about flag football. What are we talking about? Flag football. We're talking about flag football, man. We ain't talking about the NFL. We're talking about flag football, man.
Oh man,
Oh my gosh.
that's crazy. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I don't know why. Well, I like safe sports. I like safe sports. One thing. I'm like,
Okay.
I do not want anyone being injured and getting concussions and a number of bad things. Okay, so regular football, not whatever. It's fine, but it's also not great.
Fair.
And yeah, so flag football seems really cool, and yeah, making it so that like more people want to even look at these people as normal people, because I feel like you'll look at an NFL person and you're like, oh yeah, he's a he's an animal. This man is not real thing anymore. This is a machine made for sports playing. And
Sports
although a lot of the Olympic people are similar in that regard, I won't say that I haven't looked at Usain Bolt and go, oh no, that man is is
made
Mark
for
Gazelle
sprinting.
or whatever. you know? but still, I'm like it brings a little bit of more like like normalcy to like some of these sports, which I think is cool. Hey, you can have more like high schools and colleges and stuff playing stuff like that, which they don't
Yeah.
because
I mean,
regular NFL is a thing. So
I mean,
let's enter our students.
yeah, that's
Right.
facts. Okay, I'm derail a little bit from this, but I'm gonna get back to the point. To your point about the injuring students, I saw a video the other day about a guy who is super fit, super like he's shredded. He's like maybe he can't have more than maybe 7% body fat. Like he's super in shape, right? And he says he like fasts like 23 hours a day, which is insane. Um, to basically almost always put yourself in a calorie deficit,
Mhm.
always put yourself in a state of burning fat. So which is crazy. But he was saying like he almost feels like he has to do it because it's like he exercises so much and he does all this stuff to keep himself mentally okay because he played college football and he just got effed up and like he feel like he has elements of CT already and then that contributed to like all his mental health issues, including schizophrenia. And again, I feel like, and someone I was speaking to brought this up recently is that they made that whole movie about Will Smith and the CTE thing and like all the struggles of the athletes, the mental struggles of the athletes that go through this stuff, especially football players. And I feel like that movie kind of just got brushed under the rug. You know, it's talked about for a little bit, and no one talks about it anymore. It's like you can't find it on anything anymore, and it's like I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's like it's almost like the NFL just like swept it under the rug really quick
Mhm.
after it came out. And it's like I don't know, like you said, as much as I do think it's kind of silly a little bit flag football. I do see the safety part of it because I'm like, yeah, like this guy was a student, a student athlete, and he probably didn't expect to go to the league per se, but he wanted a full scholarship. Like always wanted to just go full scholarship because college expensive and we be broke sometimes. So we want scholarships so we can go and further our lives. And it sucks that some of them pay that price of like you know maybe being super smart or super well obviously super in shape, but then like getting these life changing injuries, whether it's you know head injuries, whether it's bodily injuries, whether it's mental injuries, and that sucks. So I do like the safety part of it. I do agree with that, but do I think it's going to be anywhere near fair? We talked about cheat. You know, that is going to be cheat, dude. Maybe the only way it's maybe going to be a little bit more fair is if they get rugby players from other countries that are going to be again in really really good shape as well. Only one's going to have comparable sort of shape to a football player, but still a different sport. So still got to teach a different sport, which again is going to be pretty unfair because there is no other country that plays football professionally, American style football. So it is a little cheap. Like basketball already was a little cheap, but there are other countries that played it beforehand. There's other countries that invested pretty heavily in it for a while. So it became a little bit more fair, and obviously the teams, but America's lost recently in the FIBA championships, and so yeah, obviously getting more fair and a lot more fair than it used to. But yeah, football seems like it will be a long, long, long way off of making it anywhere near a level playing field. So a little bit unfair. Will I watch it? Absolutely gonna watch some random dude from some, some, some random guy from Thailand that probably just normally is a vendor that goes to the Y 4 days a week, go and compete against a top tier NFL athlete. 100% want to see that. It's literally like regular person versus athlete. Who doesn't like seeing that on TV? Give me it. Entertainment value.
They're gonna be running the ball every time. Or no, they're gonna just throw some like 100-yard bombs,
Yeah, exactly. Run straight.
99-0.
Everyone else from the other team is like 5'9".
Yeah, it's just catching it over.
Every time. It's not fair at all. Like it's not level. Like anyway, I digress. But anyway, good for them trying to expand the Olympics. Like I think viewership for the Olympics has been down a lot though lately. So I think they're just trying to get as much interest as they can in it, and it probably will do that. I hope. I personally do like the Olympics. I enjoy it. I watch a lot of the sports. I like sports in general. So I just watch all of it if I see it. If it's on and I have like the free time, I just pop it on. And even if I'm not watching all the way, it's interesting to see even stuff like curling and stuff like that. I'm like, it's kind of interesting to see what other countries are really into and what they're good at, and learn a little bit about their cultures and stuff. It's cool. I don't know. I like it. Still like the Olympics a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Any last thoughts, Alonzo?
Well, I do have an anime recommendation for everybody.
Okay.
It's a show called Shin Sekai Yori, or in English, From the New World. And it's a show about psychics, if you will. Basically, the world is introduced to psychic powers, and then all hell breaks loose. And the story takes place 1,000 years later after psychics come about, and we're following around these kids, these psychic kids, and their stories, their trials and tribulations of having the powers, how they have to keep them under I guess tight wraps, controlling them, going out, adventuring the world, seeing things that they didn't think were possible, and yeah, it's a good show. 25 episodes, one season, but it's a great ride. Funky animation, visuals, great anime direction, great storytelling. I think it's a very good show. So if you have a chance, check it out.
Nice.
I have not watched that one. So I will also have to watch it. Yeah,
I remember watching it when yeah, because also he gave the recommendation. It's good. It's good.
I am watching another one that you recommended. I am finally watching Odd Taxi, and I'm a good way through.
Oh shit! We gotta talk about that. No, offline.
Yeah.
You're the one using my Crunchyroll account. Okay.
Yeah. I was. Yeah, that's me. I'm watching it on your account. Crunchyroll. We're in the same household.
Blocked. IP permanently banned.
Oh gosh. Anyway, thanks for sticking around with us for we've hit a lot of topics here today. But really, really, really good talk, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you took away something from it. Yes, we'll be at NACOCon in a couple of weeks. If you see us, say hi. Be prepared to be interviewed. And yeah, it was fun today. Hope you guys had some fun, took something from it. Like I said, thanks for procrastinating with us. Yeah.